She didn't lose interest. You trained her to stop caring. Read that again, because this is where most men get it wrong. You think, se chanze se god bored, and se mitsumionel se. No. Something else happened. Something quieter. Something you didn't notice. You gave too much, too fast, for too long. And now, she gives less. You send long texts. She replies with one word. You plan dates. She shows up late. You try harder. She pulls away. And the more you give, the less she feels. This is not random. This is not bad luck. This is a system. And if you don't understand it, it will destroy every relationship you enter. There is a balance in every connection. Not visible, but always there. Who gives more? Who waits more? Who needs more? That balance decides everything. Carl Jung side where love rules. There is nitrogen monoxide will to power, but here is the truth most people miss. Where imbalance grows, power appears, and power changes behavior. Let's make this simple. If you invest more than she does, you feel anxious. If she invests more than you, she feels anxious. And anxiety kills attraction. Now think about your situation. Are you waiting for her replies? Checking your phone? Thinking about what to say next? That means one thing. You are more invested. And when you are more invested, you lose control. Robert Greene wrote, "Power depends on the position you occupy. In relationships, that position is decided by investment. The one who needs less leads more." Now here's the part that hurts. You thought giving more would make her stay. More texts, more effort, more attention. But it did the opposite. Because attention is not valuable when it is unlimited. Arthur Schopenhauer believed desire grows from lack, not from abundance. If something is always there, you stop noticing it. That's what happened to you. You became constant, and constant becomes invisible. Now listen carefully. This is the truth. You don't get a woman to invest by giving more. You get her to invest by giving less at the right time. Not games, not manipulation. Balance. Let's break this down. When you first met her, what was different? She texted you first. She made effort. She showed interest. WHY. Because se didn't have you yet. You were uncertain. And uncertainty creates attention. Thomas Hobbes said humans are always seeking control, but attraction lives where control is not complete. When she wasn't sure about you, she thought about you more. When you became predictable, she thought about you less. This is the shift. From mystery to certainty. From value to availability. Now here's your mistake. You saw her pull back and you pushed forward. You tried to fix IT. More messages. More effort. More chasing. And every step forward pushed her one step back. Friedrich Nietzsche sighed. What is done out of love always takes place beyond good and evil. But what is done out of fear feels different. And she can feel it. When you chase, IT doesn't feel like love. IT feels like need. And need repels. And now let us slow this down. Because this is where you change everything. You don't fix imbalance by adding more. You fix IT by removing pressure. Step 1. Stop overinvesting. That means nitrogen monoxide, more long texts. Nitrogen monoxide, more instant replies. No more chasing conversations. Not to play games, but to return to balance. Epictetus said, don't demand that things happen as you wish. Stop trying to force her interest. Let her show IT. And if she doesn't, that tells you everything. Now here's the key. You don't disappear. You match. If she texts once, ju tet once. If she calls, you call. If she invests, you invest. No more nitrogen monoxide less. You become her mirror, and mirrors reveal truth. Now something interesting happens. When you stop chasing, she notices. At first, nothing changes. Then slowly, she feels at ease. Your absence, your silence, your space. Sigmund Freud believed that absence creates tension in the mind, and tension creates thought. She starts wondering, why is he different? Why isn't he texting like before? And now, she's thinking about you again. Not because you chased, but because you stopped. Now understand this deeply. You are not trying to make her chase. You are restoring balance. Because attraction needs space. Without space, there is nitrogen monoxide desire. Without desire, there is nitrogen monoxide investment. Now here is the shift. When she starts investing again, you don't overreact. You don't reward too much. You stay steady. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be steady like a rock. Consistency builds trust, but overreaction kills tension." So when she gives a little, you match it, not double IT. This keeps the balance alive. Now here is something most men never understand. Investment creates attachment. Not the other way around. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck spoke about adaptation through action. The more she does for you, the more she adapts to you. The more she adapts, the more she attaches. So your goal is simple. Create space for her to give, not force, not demand. Allow, and when she gives, you receive. Without guilt, without stopping her. Because every time she invests, she gets closer. Now look at your past. Did you stop her from giving? Did you say, "IT's okay. I got a T. You don't have to do that." And then you did everything? That was your mistake. You removed her chance to invest. And without investment, there is nitrogen monoxide attachment. Now everything makes sense. Why she pulled away. Why you felt anxious. Why the balance broke. But now, you see a T. And when you see a T, you can change IT. This is just the beginning. Because in the next part, we go deeper. We break down the exact ways to make her invest, the mistakes that destroy attraction instantly, and how to control the balance without forcing IT. Now you understand the balance. You see how it shifts. You see how you broke it. Good. Because now we fixate. But listen carefully. Most men fail here. Not because they don't understand, but because they react emotionally. They hear pull back, and they disappear. They hear match energy, and they become cold. That's not balance. That is a ubar, c-o-r-a-r-a-s, s-a-u, a-r, c-o-r-a-r-a, and overcorrection. Kills attraction just as fast. Carl Jung said, "The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense." Most men swing like that. Too much effort, then nitrogen monoxide effort. Too much attention, then silence. But attraction lives in the middle. So this is your first rule. Stay consistent. Stay calm. Stay measured. Now let us head practical. How do you actually get her to invest? Not in theory. Not in ideas. In real life. Step 1. Give her space to act. This sounds simple, but it's where most men fail instantly. You text her. She replies. And before she can even think, you send another message. And another. And another. You don't give her time to miss you. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that desire grows when something is not fully available. If you are always there is nothing to desire. So after she replies, pause, let the moment breathe, let her think, let her feel. Because feeling creates investment. Now here's what happens. When you stop filling every gap, she starts filling it. She sends another text. She asks a question. She continues the conversation. And now, she is investing. Not because you forced it, because you allowed it. Now step 2. Let her do things for you. This is where many men get it wrong. They think, I have to do everything. So they plan everything, pay for everything, fix everything. And she does nothing. Then they wonder, why is she not attached? Because se didn't build anything. Sigmund Freud explained that people attach to what they invest in. So let her invest. Small things. Let her pick the place. Let her choose the plan. Let her help you with something simple. And when she does, accept it. Don't say, Nathrajin, Menoxy, I got it. Because every time you say that, you block her investment. And without investment, there is nitrogen monoxide bond. Now step 3. Reward effort, not attention. This is critical. When she gives effort, you respond. When she gives nothing, you don't chase. Robert Greene teaches that people repeat what is rewarded. So, if you reward low effort, you get more low effort. If she replies late, and you respond instantly with excitement, you just rewarded her delay. If she cancels, and you say, it's okay every time, you just rewarded disrespect. Now understand this. You don't punish. You adjust. You match. If she gives less, you give less. If she gives more, you give more. This creates balance. Now, step 4. Build your own life. This is not optional. This is the foundation. Jordan Peterson often talks about order and responsibility. You need something outside her. Your goals, your work, your direction. Because if she is your only focus, you will overinvest. An overinvestment kills attraction. When you have a full life, your time becomes limited, and limited time has value. Now she feels it. She sees that you are not always available. And that changes how she sees you. Thomas Hobbes said humans respect power. And in this case, power is control over your time. If you control your time, you control the dynamic. Now step 5. Stop explaining yourself. This one is subtle, but powerful. She asks, why didn't you text me? Most men say, I was busy, I had this, I had that. Too much explanation. And it feels like you are justifying yourself. Plato believed truth does not need defense. So instead, keep it simply. I was busy. That's it.com/clear. Done. This shows control. Now let's go deeper. There is something happening under all of this. Something most men never see. Your behavior teaches her how to treat you. Every time you chase, you teach her to pull away. Every time you overgive, you teach her to give less. Every time you accept low effort, you set the standard. Friedrich Nietzsche said, he who cannot obey himself will be commanded. If you don't control your actions, she will control the dynamic. Now here's the shift. You don't control her. You control you. And when you control you, the balance changes. Now let's talk about a real situation. You text her. She replies after 5 hours. Old you replies instantly. Adds more messages. Tries to restart energy. New you reply later. Same energy. Short.com. Now what happens? She notices something changed. And when something changes, attention increases. Now she invests more. Not because you forced it, because you adjust it. This is the game. Not manipulation. Awareness. Adjustment. Balance. Now remember this. You are not trying to win. You are trying to create equilibrium. Because in balance, attraction survives. In imbalance, IT dies. And most men lose because they don't see the imbalance. But now, you do. And in the next part, we go even deeper. We break down the exact mistakes that destroy attraction instantly. The hidden behaviors that make her lose respect and how to maintain balance long-term without thinking about it. Now you know how to build balance. Now you know how to get her to invest. But this is where most men still fail. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they keep doing what destroys IT. Quietly. Repeatedly. Without noticing. Let's expose IT. Because one wrong pattern can undo everything. Mistake number 1, trying to lock her in. You feel things are going well. She's investing more. She's showing interest. And instead of letting IT grow, you try to secure IT. More messages, more reassurance, more control. You want certainty. But certainty kills attraction. Carl Jung said the greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents. And here's how IT connects. When you try to control the outcome, you are acting from fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of not being enough. And that fear shows in your tone, in your timing, in your behavior. And when she feels that, she pulls back. Because pressure repels. Now mistake number 2. Overreacting to small changes. She takes longer to reply. You notice, and soothingly, your mood changes. You think something is wrong, so you text more. Ask questions. Seek clarity. And now, you create the problem. Arthur Albert Ellis said, "You are not disturbed by events, but by your interpretation." Her late reply was neutral. Your reaction made it negative. Now she feels pressure, and pressure creates distance. So what should you do? Nothing. Stay steady. Not every change means something, but your reaction always does. Now mistake number 3, losing your own life. At first, you had things going on. Friends, goals, focus. But slowly, you made her the center. You cancel plans for her. You adjust everything for her. And now, you are always available. Marcus Aurelius sideways to nitrogen monoxide. More time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. A good man has direction, not dependency. When your life shrinks, your value drops. Not because you are less, but because you show less. And she feels that. Now mistake number 4, ignoring disrespect. She cancels last minute. You say it's fine. She replies. Late you accept it. She gives little effort. You give more. And slowly you lower your standard. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "When you fight monsters, be careful you don't become one." When you accept low effort, you become low value. Not in who you are, but in how you are treated. And people treat you based on what you accept. Now mistake number 5. Explaining too much. You feel her pulling away. SOU. Ta. Explain your feelings. You explain your intentions. You explain everything. And now you remove all mystery. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that mystery fuels interest. When everything is explained, there is nothing left to feel. And attraction needs feeling. Now let's go deeper. There is something under all of this. Something invisible. Your internal state. How you see yourself changes everything. Carl Jung said what you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. If you feel not enough, you overcompensate. If you feel lucky to have her, you overgive. If you feel afraid to lose her, you chase. And all of that creates imbalance. Now here's the shift. You don't fix behavior first. You fix belief. Because behavior follows belief. If you believe, I am enough, you act differently. You don't chase. You don't overgive. You don't accept less. And that changes the balance. Now let's talk about something most men ignore. Other men. When you are around other men, what happens? Do they compete? Do they get louder? Do they try to prove something? Thomas Hobbes said, humans are always in silent competition. So when men react to you, that means something. IT means you have presence. But if you react back, you lose it, because now you are equal. But if you stay calm, you separate, and she sees IT. Women always observe. Not directly, but constantly. They notice who reacts, and who doesn't, who chases, and who stands still. And they invest based on that. Now let's bring everything together. If she is not investing, it's not random. It's feedback. IT shows. You are giving too much. You are too available. You are reacting too much. And once you see that, you can change it. Not by forcing her, by adjusting yourself. Because you control one thing. You. And when you change you, the dynamic changes. Now in the final part, we go deeper than ever. We break down how to maintain balance, long-term, how to become the man she keeps investing in, and the final mindset shift that makes this automatic. Mastering the importance, balance. Now we reach the part most men never get to. Not because it's hidden, but because it requires something harder than tactics. Consistency. You can learn everything. You can understand the balance. But if you don't live it, you lose it. So this final part is about mastery. Not quick fixes. Not short-term wins. But becoming the man she keeps investing in. Without effort. Let's begin. First truth. Balance is never fixed. IT moves. Every day. Every moment. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck spoke about constant adaptation. And relationships are the same. You don't set balance. You maintain IT. That means awareness. Not overthinking. Just noticing. Is she investing? Are you overgiving? Is the energy equal? Small adjustments. That's all it takes. Now, second truth. You must stay unpredictable. Not in a chaotic way. In a grounded way. Robert Greene said, "What is unpredictable has power." If she knows exactly what you'll do, you lose tension. And without tension, there is nitrogen monoxide attraction. So, what does this look like? Sometimes you say yes, sometimes you say no, sometimes you lead, sometimes you step back. Not randomly, but naturally. Because you have a life. And that life does not revolve around her. Now, third truth. Emotional control is everything, not hiding feelings. Controlling reactions. Epictetus said, nitrogen monoxide man is free, who is not master of himself. If she pulls back, you stay calm. If she invests more, you stay grounded. If she tests you, you don't react. Because the moment you react emotionally, you give away control. And when you lose control, you lose balance. Now, fourth truth. Scarcity must be real. Not fake. Not forced. Real. Arthur said desire needs limitation. So your life must be full. Not for her. For you. Work. Goals. Growth. Because when your life is full, your time becomes valuable. And when your time is valuable, your presence matters. Now she feels it. She knows you are not always available. And that creates investment. Now, fifth truth. You must be willing to walk away. This is the hardest one, because it is real. Not a tactic. Friedrich Nietzsche sighed, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Your why cannot be her. It must be you, your standards, your direction, your self-respect. Because if you are not willing to lose her, you will do anything to keep her. And that destroys balance. But when you are willing to walk away, everything changes. You don't tolerate low effort. You don't chase. You don't overgive. And she feels it now. Let's bring this together. What does the man look like? Who has mastered this? He is calm, not rushing, not chasing. He listens, not to respond, but to understand. He speaks clearly, not to impress, but to express. He gives, but only when it is matched. He leads, but never forces. Plato believed harmony creates beauty, and this man creates harmony between effort, between energy, between presence, and that harmony creates attraction. Now look at the difference. Old ya chasing, overthinking, overgiving. New ya balanced, aware, controlled. Old you needs her attention. New you allows her to give it. Old you tries to win her. New you lets her invest in you. And that is the shift. Not doing more, doing less, but better. Now here is the final truth. You cannot fake this. You cannot pretend balance, because behavior reveals truth. Sigmund Freud showed that the unconscious always leaks out. If you feel desperate, it shows. If you feel enough, that shows too. So the real work is internal. Becoming a man who does not need validation, who does not chase attention, who does not overinvest. Because when you become that man, you don't think about balance. You are the balance. And when you are the balance, she invests naturally. Not forced, not asked. Given because she feels it. She feels your calm, your control, your direction. And she responds. That is attraction. Not words, energy. And once you understand that, everything changes. So here is your final step. Look at your life. Where are you overgiving? Where are you chasing? Where are you losing balance? Fix that. Start small. Adjust. And watch what happens. Because when you stop chasing and start becoming, she doesn't pull away. She comes closer.